It's easy to write a budget that you think is perfect until you're 5 days in and you realize you forgot to add another expense to your budget. When these forgotten budget items are missing from your budget, suddenly budgeting feels impossible. If you feel like giving up and throwing in the towel, you are not alone. We've been there. One of the biggest reasons you're blowing your budget is because you aren't creating a realistic budget. When a budget isn't realistic, it is usually because you're not budgeting enough money for a budget category or you're leaving a category out of your budget altogether. In this video, we will tell you about the 14 expenses you're not including in your budget that should be. Number 1. Gifts. It can be easy to overlook gift giving when you sit down and write your monthly budget. So often I sit down, write out what I thought was a flawless budget, and then realize I had forgotten about a gift I needed for an upcoming event. Keep track of these dates and reference them when you sit down to build your budget. Birthday gifts, anniversary gifts, graduation gifts, Mother's Day gifts, and Father's Day gifts. Even better, set up a gift giving sinking fund. This allows you to save money and cover the cost of the gifts when they come up. Number 2. Car maintenance. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but here it is: cars break. They're not built to last forever. They require oil changes, tire replacements, registration costs, and much more. If you put a set amount of money each month into a car maintenance sinking fund, then you can offset these costs when they arrive. To stay ahead of the surprise car bills, it's always a good thing to ask your trusted mechanic about any upcoming maintenance your car needs along with a price estimate. Number 3. Entertainment money. Just because you want to save more money and spend less doesn't mean that you have to skip out on entertainment entirely. So many people think that you are on a budget that you can't have any fun. Truthfully, you can have a lot of fun, but you have to plan it out. Consider setting aside some money each month to do something fun with your family and friends. Number 4. Medical bills. Are you overlooking any upcoming doctor's or dentist appointments? Copays and deductibles that can get expensive and can be a strain on a budget if you are unprepared. Before you sit down to make your budget, check your calendar for any scheduled appointments. Don't hesitate to call the doctor's office in advance to determine the amount that will be charged. Number 5. Clothes. Clothes don't last forever. Seasons change and children will need new clothes for school. Just because you are living on a budget doesn't mean that you can't have new clothes. Anticipate the need and plan for the cost. When it comes to buying a lot of clothes at once, think about budgeting the cost over several months to help spread out the large expense. You can even set up a sinking fund to help you cover most, if not all, of the cost of the new clothes. Number 6. Memberships. Don't get caught off guard by yearly memberships or subscriptions. Many times, these memberships are on auto pay and you don't even realize they're due until the money has already been taken out of your account. I recommend that you keep a list of your annual memberships with their renewal date in your budget binder so you can reference them often. Common memberships and subscriptions to check: Amazon Prime, Netflix, monthly subscription boxes. Number 7. Home maintenance. Having a home can be expensive, but these expenses don't have to catch you off guard. Home maintenance costs are a common item missing from many people's budget. Not only is there always a possibility of big items breaking, but there is also a lot of maintenance that comes with purchasing a home. From replacing filters to keeping the yard outside mowed and trimmed, the cost can pile up. Don't forget to budget each month for necessary fixes. Number 8. Holiday extras. During my first year of getting my finances back on track, I always failed to plan for the extras around each holiday. Christmas cards and pictures with Saint Nick add up. And I don't know if you bought candy last year for Halloween, but those bags are not cheap. Valentine's flowers cost money too, and the Easter Bunny doesn't bring eggs for free. Don't overlook these extra expenses. To make budgeting for these extra expenses easy, sit down and think through everything you'll do for the next holiday. In your mind, walk through what you'll be doing, eating, and visiting. Number 9. Guests. Are you forgetting to factor in the cost of hosting overnight guests? You will likely buy extra food for breakfast and snacks as well as use extra electricity and water. It all adds up and should be accounted for. Plan for an increase in your grocery budget this month and an increase in your utility bills next month. Number 10. Personal spending money. One of the best hacks to stay on a budget is to remember to add personal money to your budget. A lot of people feel like they shouldn't budget for personal money, but everyone needs to have this category in their budget. When you budget for personal money, you don't feel like you're being deprived of spending money on yourself. Personal spending money allows you to spend on whatever you want, no questions asked. It's important to remember that deprivation leads to burnout. Spending money helps you live on a budget and not deprive yourself of what you want at the same time. A lot of people always ask me how much to budget for this category. That depends on your personal choice, your income, and your money goals. If you're trying to pay off your debt fast, you may want to have a smaller amount for this category. Number 11. Kids' expenses. Kids' expenses can add up quickly. You can easily get nickeled and dimed with your kids' expenses. Common expenses for kids: field trips, school lunches and snacks, missed school fees, summer camps, sports fees. Check your kids' school and extracurricular calendars before you write your budget for your next pay period. Number 12. Vacation fund. If you plan on taking a vacation, you need to add it to your budget. This is another common sinking fund category. Even if you're traveling on a budget or having a staycation, you can add it to your budget. Just figure out what you want your budget to be and divide by the number of months until your vacation. That's how much you need to save in your sinking fund. Number 13. Pet expenses. If you have an older pet or one with medical needs, you need a pet fund. Vet bills can get expensive quickly. You don't want to be caught off guard not being able to pay for your pet's medicine or surgery. Number 14. A buffer in your budget. One of the most common expenses or items missing from a budget is also the most important: a buffer. Your buffer category will help absorb the cost of smaller unexpected expenses that come up. Ultimately, it helps you from dipping into your savings or worrying about overdrafting from your checking account. A buffer can be used to cover small unexpected expenses like a field trip your child forgot to tell you about until the last minute. It can also cover the cost of variable bills that you didn't know would be higher. For instance, if your electricity bill is $125 but you only budgeted $105, your buffer can cover this cost. The buffer category is usually about $100 per month or pay period. Choose a buffer amount that you are comfortable with and add it to your budget. This is it for today. Subscribe to our channel for more videos and we will see you in the next video, and until then, goodbye.